What's up, friends? This is Jazz bringing you kind of a new video. It's going to be a TV show vlog. I'm going to make this, in depth as I can, but also as short as I can. For one, I never finished the whole series. Actually, I don't know how long the whole series is. But this might come in 2 parts, maybe. And it is based on Riverdale, the Netflix series Riverdale. And I got Netflix recently, starting to use it more, and I was watching the series. I'm up to episode 11, like just at episode 11. I took a break because I was literally watching it all day, so I'm just going to tell you some of my opinions on it. And warning, spoilers. Spoilers. The TV show is somewhat loosely based on the Archie comics, if anyone has read them. A lot of you have, but it has a different theme. It has a lot of the characters' names, but there are personality changes to it. And also, sorry about the angle of my camera, but that's the best way I could get myself without moving the monitor too much. But anyway, pretty much the whole base of this story, or the main base of the story, is that the golden boy, Jason Blossom, has been found murdered. Or went missing, then was found shot in the head. Now, there are some things I want to add to this. I never read the Archie comics for a long time, so I don't know every single character as it is. But the first thing I notice almost as this story starts is the narrator, Jughead, which is played by Cole Sprouse. Anyone knows him from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody as one of the twins. He was talking about Cheryl Blossom and Jason Blossom, who's the boy who was murdered. Cheryl Blossom is his twin. And he was telling the story about them going out for a boat ride, like just before he disappeared or vanished on July 4th. One big thing I noticed, the first thing I think of when I see Jason walking with Cheryl and turn his head to listen to her, is that I get a total Twilight vibe. I know, this is silly, but he just looks like the too silent, the too perfect boy. Like, I know he ends up being dead, and he doesn't really have any speaking lines in this show so far. Maybe that's what it's meant to be, because he's anonymous, he's dead. But it is creepy, okay? I'm sorry. Like, okay, I know you're thinking, why relate it to Twilight when you used to go on how good about it and you still have posters like Emmett in the back right here? I'm trying to think. I'm talking about the Twilight vampires that... a vampire, that's the best way I can relate to. He looks like yes, he's dead, obviously. But this flashback was before he died. He looked like he was already flipping dead. Just cold and all. Like, his look creeped me out. That's the first thing I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh God, is he the one dead? Yeah, he was. Like, but the story goes on pretty good. Like the characters are somewhat developed. Like, there's difference in personalities. Like, Archie Andrews is a little more, how shall I say it? Not full of himself necessarily, but confident. You know what? I'll say the character the character of Archie in this series relates probably the most to the character in the comic, because he is still good-hearted. He wants to do what is right for the most part, but he seems to be going around with girls a lot more. That is the only big difference I see, besides a little bit of the looks, and he's a little more built, in muscle structure. That is about it. Now, with Betty Cooper, Veronica Lodge, and Jughead Jones, their personalities, okay, how am I going to say it? If I could choose a second character that's most in character, it would be Betty. But even Betty has a change from her personality in the comic. She is a good girl, but she can go psycho sometimes. And when I say psycho, I mean literally almost drowning a guy to death psycho. Which, if I get pictures to show you my representation, I will. But if Veronica, she's still rich, but she's more of the, oh, I'll help you, I want to be your friend, I'm so sorry if I hurt you. The Veronica, like, I think out of, okay, next to Jughead, Jughead and Veronica both would probably be tied in the characters that are at least like who they are from the comic. Maybe Jughead would go a little bit further back. Like, Veronica is more of a nice rich girl. I mean, she has her moments where she swims and when she can afford things, but even then, she doesn't like float it to people. And anytime she does something that would hurt someone, she is genuinely remorseful. Now you're thinking, oh, does that mean you don't like Veronica? No, I actually do. Like, I think that, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. I think Veronica is one of the most relatable characters in this series. One of my favorites, to be exact. Now, Jughead, he is a lot smarter in this series, as saying he's portrayed by Cole Sprouse. He's more portrayed as more intellect, but still has, like, well, they also say that his dumb, childish mindset isn't as, like, that. And he still loves burgers, he still loves food, but it isn't to the extreme where original Jughead is. He'll always be up for a burger if offered, but he doesn't, like, in the comic, I mean, in the early comics from what I read, it may have changed, I think there's still comics these days, but the original one I read, it's like Jughead's whole life was food. Literally. In this adaptation, he's more of a cinephilia, I think that's what they call it, cinephilia, where they love films, like, you know what I mean, like movies. Like, I forget what word they use. If I can find it, I'll put it there, but his big thing is movies, and he also is writing something. I think he's the one trying to research the death of Jason Blossom. So he's also the narrator of the series, so he has a lot more intellect. His mind's directed right on food, but he can still be to himself a little bit. Now Cheryl Blossom and Jason Blossom have actually been characters in this series, like, before, and I don't know their character in the comic as much as I do here, so I don't know if Cheryl was always the bee she is in this TV show, but maybe I'll have to look back up on it. I don't know. Now, there's other characters in this show, like Reggie is not as a prominent character as he is in the comic. He's also portrayed as Asian, so, like, don't judge effing that, or, you know what I mean. I mean, he probably was most off of what he looks like, but we also don't see him enough to really know. He's probably one of the least developed characters in this series. I don't know if there was a Kevin in this series, though. Those who are Archie fans, I apologize, I don't know. But Kevin is the gay character in this show, the gay best friend. And I don't know whether he was portrayed at all in the comics, I'll have to research that too. But he's more of a main, he would be the fill-in for Reggie, I think, as a main cast plot. But there's a lot that goes on. Like, I'm not gonna make this over long, though. I want to try to just get to my point. There were things like that whole thing when Jason looked like a vampire to me. That just seemed overdone. And then there were some times where I'm like, wait. Like, what happened to the Jason plot? What happened to the murder plot? Yeah, there were moments like that where I'd be watching it, there'd be an episode or two dedicated to, oh, what happened here with Jason, who could have shot him. And then suddenly they were talking about Veronica's dad, which in this version he's in prison. I don't know, I heard most of what they said, but I had some hearing problems, so even at full volume I couldn't hear it quite well. But yeah, apparently Veronica's dad did something that hurt a lot of people and he's in prison, or apparently he hurt a lot of people. But it turns out it might be the Blossoms' father who did something that got him arrested. Yeah, I get it. As I said before, spoilers. So Betty's parents are wacko. I don't know them too much in the comic, but they're trying to portray themselves as this perfect family, but they have a vendetta with the Blossom family. Also, it turns out Betty has a sister. She may have in the comic. If she did, I apologize. I don't know if her name would have been the name of the show, but Polly, who is pregnant with Jason Blossom's children, apparently, because they're twins. I know, okay, yes, it does go back to the Jason plot when it talks about Polly and that, but then there's episodes dedicated to almost nothing but filler. I mean, filler happens, I know, but what filler plot line is Betty wants to throw Jughead a birthday party because he never had one in his life. And then Cheryl comes in and says, let's tell secrets. And they find out that, one of the biggest character changes in this entire series to the comic. Miss Gundy is a hot woman. Yeah, Miss Gundy. And apparently her and Archie were a thing. Now, look at this picture right here of Miss Gundy from the series, comic series. Could you picture Archie Andrews? No, I mean, but the best thing is, maybe about 3 parts in, bye, she's just gone. Like, actually, that's another thing that kind of ifs me. Archie's father, who's also decently hot now. I know, I mean, Archie Andrews' father wasn't as old as Miss Gundy was, but he was overweight. He had a balding streak. Now, as you see the picture of the actor who plays him, he looks like he's, yes, he could be his father, but only if he was 18 when he became a father. He doesn't look like a whole lot older than him. But anyway, that point is back to what I was saying before. Archie's father finds out about the whole thing between Archie and Miss Gundy, with being told by Betty's mother, Alice, that she read Betty's diary, blah blah, you know how that would go. Yet he allows her to skip town. What? No. Hello? Police? My son's teacher was doing something that is against the law and is pedophilia? Yeah. No, he didn't do that. He didn't even it. Put it this way. After Miss Gundy left town, it was not brought up again until 6 or 7 episodes in. It wasn't brought up again until that. Now it's just over a little quick, oh yeah. What the hell? I mean, I know the town was going through a lot with what happened to Jason, but could they be so careless? Is Jason's murder the biggest controversy in this town that pedophilia? Okay, I can't even say that, really, because Archie was quite a bit older. He was a kid, but he was older. But, I mean, that could go unnoticed? Yeah. I mean, really, Mr. Andrews? Really? Yes, Archie said, I wanted it. A lot of, I've watched Dr. Phil and shows, like Steve Wilkos and that. And you know what they say to kids who say, oh no, I said it was okay? You know what they often say to them? You're not old enough to give your permission. They took advantage of you. Yeah. How did that fly, Mr. Andrews? But anyway, we barely see, I never finished the whole series yet. This is only going to be like a part 1 to this. But, as so far from what I see, we haven't seen Miss Gundy again. After that incident. We heard briefly about the affair in maybe episode 10. And then, I was just like, oh, blah, 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 like gossip. Oh, look what he did. Oh, he cheated on a math test. Yeah, not like that. Now, it is a pretty good show. Like, it does keep you invested to a degree, but it also can be very distracting when you go several episodes with more than a lot of filler. It's like Jason was forgotten. Oh, wait. Okay, I guess I would be lying. Jason is brought up time and time again, even during the filler parts. But a lot of it is through Cheryl. And, oh my god, Cheryl. You would think she lost her brother, her best friend, her twin. You think you would show some empathy for her, and believe me, there were little seconds I did. But almost just as quickly... Oh, wait. No, I don't. I swear, I bet you I'll be watching it till the end and find out she killed him. Or something, because okay, there were moments. There was like one particular scene where they were holding a football, something, I forget what it was. It was a big football season or something. And they were doing something, it was the first game, I think, of the season. And they were doing it in his honor. And she ran off crying when she saw all the football players running through, because he was a captain. Jason was. And Veronica and Betty even saw her sensitive side. She was crying, saying he was supposed to come back. But at that moment, you're thinking, what? That's another thing. But it's explained, though. So I can forgive that. But point is, that showed her sensitive side. But just as quickly, she's back to old B that you see her as. It's like like she didn't even remember Betty and Veronica helping her or sympathizing with her. But there's a whole bunch of other plot lines, like Jughead's father being part of this, what is it, Serpents? It's some gang or something. Archie's father is an architect. He's divorced from Archie's mother, divorcing Archie's mother. Veronica's father's in jail. The Coopers are completely torn apart because of Polly and her pregnancy with the Blossom heir, or heirs. But I also think they built it up pretty well. It started with both parents like lying to Betty about what happened to Polly, that she went nuts, that she was in an asylum or something, to Betty and Jughead finding out that she was sent off because she was pregnant, right, with the baby of the Blossom, of Jason Blossom, and she was trying to run away, but they got sent away to this nuns area. Then she runs away. She's found by Betty. She moves in with the Lodges temporarily. Like, I'm just saying pretty much the plotline for the Coopers. And then to Betty's mother finally somewhat turning around, at least going to try to support her daughter, letting her keep the baby, you know what I mean, like being a part of the child's life. And then to her finding out that her husband tried to convince her to get rid of the baby, in a way, take her to the doctor like beforehand. I think that's what it meant by taking her to the doctor. And then to him saying, I'm not raising a child with Blossom blood. There goes their marriage. And it ends with well, I can't say it ends, but from the last time I saw it, Betty's mother threw a brick through the work window. His work is like his office building. Yeah, so everything, like, it's developed. I'll say it. I never would say that, but I understood, like, it went from the perfect looking family to there's secrets. There was a vendetta. Another thing I think, what is this? Days of Our Lives? I mean, is the Blossom Stefano DiMera? But I mean, they do have this wickedness to them. They try to buy people off, but they do have a lot of money. So, I mean, I don't really care too much, like, how different the characters are, but I'm getting used to it. I still think Veronica is probably one of my favorite characters in this series, because she goes for a lot too, but she does what she feels genuinely bad if something happens to someone else. Jughead, he's a cute character. He's definitely smarter than the comic version of Jughead, but he has his childish quirks. And although there was one other thing that stood out to me that was funny. In episode 10, when Betty was throwing a birthday party for Jughead, she had the cake and everything. She was wearing a shirt that had the crown on it. Yes, they still have the signature crown on Jughead, only a beanie rather than the actual hat. The hat is only placed in a dream sequence in one of the episodes. But besides the point, she was just singing happy birthday to him, and it looked like he was on drugs with how, like, the perception of Betty was. There was a whole bunch of lights there, and the singing was off, like, happy birthday. You know, when I'm thinking, for a second I thought, am I on something? Like, just the way I saw it was kind of creepy. I'm thinking, okay, what is this building up to? Like it is. Was it someone I didn't know? At first I didn't even recognize Betty because she looked so distorted and ugh. But as it is, it's a decent show. I definitely need a break from watching like 10 episodes in a row today. A lot of people probably go for that. I'm not usually used to binge watching things straight like that, so I'm definitely taking a break. But I'll just say, I can't say anything because I never saw the ending yet, but I just hope they wrap up the whole Jason thing, or at least, like, I don't know, it's been going on for 11 parts, and they call it chapters, though, like, in the show. So I don't know if they're planning to wrap up the Jason storyline, if there's only going to be a season show, or what, because it's acting like it. But at the same time, I'd kind of be upset if it had to wait for another season to find out, because you don't know how long Netflix, how quickly or how long it'll take to get a new season. Like, Fuller House. There's 2 seasons up, but it takes forever for each season. Yeah, someday I'll do a Fuller House one. Like, I'll have to rewatch Fuller House and then do that. But, like, oh my god. I mean, this show was interesting. It showed characters' development, like Archie learning who he is. Like, he's in this one, he's more of a music lover than anything, wanted to work on his music within the last year, I guess, of this happening after Jason's death. Like, Jughead is just, you know, in his own way he is Jughead, but he's just different in his pursuits. Like, he really likes investigating things, and he with Betty are investigating what happened to Jason. And Reggie, I don't know enough of him from this series to say anything, but he could just be a stuck-up jerk like he was before. Maybe a little less so, though. Let me see. Kevin, I don't know him from the comics, but he is a decent character as it is, and his father, I think this is his father, who's the police of this town. Betty, I don't dislike her. She's an okay character, and her storyline is really very good. Because she has her family's related to what happened with Jason in a way, so they kind of fit in together. But I just had to tell you some of the things I felt, like the whole first scene scenario where I felt like I was watching a vampire walking by. He just looked like he was in and glowing. Look, it was sparkling! I know, I must be nuts, but even before, when there's flashbacks of Jason, he doesn't look right, but I suppose he's supposed to be an apparition or a ghost or something, but anyway, guys, that's what I feel. This is my first part of this Riverdale, vlog. I might add pictures. I'll try to find pictures to show you. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs. Yeah, I have to learn to use the camera. Give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video.